Hey guys, so I wanted to talk a little bit about how we're going to finish out these Giacometti sculptures. I went ahead and made an example sculpture for you guys, and the first thing I did after I got everything wrapped and it was dry is I sanded the base because just the act of putting on the plaster got some of that cruddy looking plaster down there on the base. I don't really want that on my finished sculpture, and I doubt you do either, so I just took some sandpaper and I sanded the base. That plaster comes off really, really easy. You can also round over the corners of your base. Like the wood sometimes has some sharp corners on it around the top edge and things like that. You can use your sandpaper to clean that up all you want. And then what I did is I went and I just got some of the black acrylic paint that's over on the counter, and I painted my sculpture and my base with one coat of the black paint. And I let it dry. It needs to be as dry as you can let it get before you go to put the metallic paint over it, or it's just going to kind of blend and get muddy and it's not going to look nearly as good. So I put my black coat of paint on, I let it dry, and it doesn't take very long because the plaster sucks the paint right up and it dries it pretty quick. But you can kind of test it with your finger and make sure that it's dry. And then I went over to the counter again and I grabbed a little bit of the metallic paint. This is the silver. We have silver and we have gold. Just a little bit is going to be enough to do this sculpture. And then I grabbed a little bit of paper towel. You're going to need that paper towel here in a minute. And then I grabbed kind of one of the cruddier brushes that I could find. I think you're going to find that the nastier brushes actually do a little bit better job of doing what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be doing a dry brushing technique. And so what I'm going to be doing is applying the paint with a mostly dry brush. There's not a lot of paint in the brush when we do this. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of the paint, and I'm going to get most of it off on my paper towel. Okay, so it doesn't take much. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my sculpture, and I'm just going to lightly hit the highlights of my sculpture with that metallic paint. This should not look totally silver when it's done. It should not be bright gold when it's done, bright gold or bright silver, okay? You want to see most of the black still showing through, but you're just going to kind of scrub some of that metallic paint over the high spots. And that's going to give it that cast metal look like the Giacometti sculptures have in real life. Grab a little bit more paint, wipe most of it off. Keep hitting those spots. Until you have the whole thing covered, okay? Do the same thing to the base, okay? You don't have to paint the bottom of your base unless you just want to, but you want to apply the metallic paint to the sculpture from the head all the way down around the base, and that's gonna look like one solid piece of cast metal when it's done, okay? So other than that, you'll just throw your paper towel away, you'll throw your cardboard away, wash out your brush and put it back where it goes. And then these need to go back in the cabinet and I will grade them when I get back, okay? So hopefully that goes to it. It's a really straightforward process. You just don't want too much paint on your brush, okay? Or it's just gonna make it look very too bright, too artificial, if that makes any sense. And it won't look like it's actually